time, 56 yards, touchdown. Fuller trying to jump it. Moore able to make the catch and then free to the end zone. And a 230-yard, 3-touchdown night for number 2.
All right, we wanted to turn to the one thing. If you have to pick one thing that pissed you off the most about last night's game, what is it? The Commanders get blasted 40-20 on Thursday Night Football. They were favored in the game. The Bears hadn't won in forever. I mean, the Bears gave up a massive lead to the Broncos to lose last week.
Yes, they did. They're up 28-7, I believe, in that game.
Correct. To me, the number one thing under my skin, if we want to do the old school under my skin, it's the defensive line, which gets all the hype. It has this reputation, and at times they will make plays. They make all this money, but they don't put enough pressure on the quarterback. And to me, they're largely responsible for the team giving up over 30 points now for 4 straight games. That's just unacceptable. You cannot win in the league giving up 30 points a game. We gave them a pass. Oh, it was the Bills. It was Josh Allen. Gave them a pass. It was the Eagles. It was Jalen Hurts. And, Denver. They scored a lot of those points early. Well, the defensive line isn't getting the quarterback. They're not stopping the run. They are all reputation, no results.
If I have to pick one spot, it's the secondary. And it kind of goes hand in hand with the defensive line. The secondary would perform better if there's more of a pass rush on the quarterback and if Justin Fields were flustered. He had basically all day to pick out his targets, mostly DJ Moore, and it's just a continuation of what we saw in the Eagles game. They have real trouble with top-end wideouts. They couldn't slow down A.J. Brown, and they clearly couldn't stop DJ Moore. And that's going to be a problem.
DB, I know there's a laundry list for you, but the one thing that would concern me, now last night I had DJ Moore on my fantasy team, so I wasn't that concerned. I wasn't that upset.
Fields
but if I was a huge Commander fan like Eric is, it would concern me that they are giving up so many explosive plays down the sidelines of the field. Not so much over the middle, but, man, they're getting killed on these deep throws because they're either missing coverage or they're just getting beaten coverage or they're taking a chance like Forbes does at going after the ball and he's getting beat and then DJ Moore runs free for 40 yards.
I think there's miscommunication back there.
There might be.
A lot of
and
stuff.
so that would concern me because, maybe it's not Atlanta, maybe it's not the Giants, but eventually you're going to play some more really explosive passing offenses, which are going to still kill you.
I can't argue with you. The biggest disappointment for me of that game is it sucked all the life out of the season. Like, if you can't beat a team that hadn't won in a year, well, you're obviously not doing anything. And nobody particularly thought they were, like, real contenders. But, okay, maybe they could find a way to squeak their way into the playoffs. No, it's not a playoff team. It's going to take a miracle to turn it around. I don't see it. You can understand how struggling. It's his first year really playing, and he's got a new coordinator. You can even understand Bieniemy. I thought Bieniemy yesterday was average. I thought Howell was okay. But the defense, there's no excuse. Jack's been running that system for 4 years. We had the same front four for 4 years now.
He's been running it.
There's literally no excuse.
And it's loaded with first-round talent.
No excuse. So I just lost all hope. That's why I think JP asked me earlier what flipped. I just didn't see that coming in a million years. It stunned me.
I think in your 3 scenarios yesterday, the blowout loss by the Commanders wasn't one of them.
I thought you could lose, but I didn't think you could blow out. I think you could give up a 40-burger to the Bears.
I'm stealing the stat from Mitch Tischler.
Totally stunned.
At Mitch_Tischler on Twitter. The Commanders are now on pace to give up 544 points in the season, surpassing the 1981 Baltimore Colts for most points allowed in a single NFL season.
Right.
That is shocking.
And think about it. You're going to play the Dolphins, explosive offense. You're playing the Niners, explosive offense. You're playing Seattle, pretty explosive offense. You're playing the Rams that are scoring this week.
Cowboys twice.
Philly again. You're playing some offenses that can easily put up in the 30s against you.
Justin Fields now leads the NFL in passing touchdowns.
He has 11.
He had never had
four. He's tied with Cousins.
He had never had a 4-touchdown game in his career. He's had 2 in the last 5 days.
Right.
Here's what I think Josh should do. When someone wakes him up and tells him that they lost last night, through all the partying, by the way, you've gotten humiliated on national TV. Once that registers with him, I would go in there and I would say to Ron, we're just gonna have to do something to shake it up. We want to give the fans something. So we're gonna let go of Jack, and then Ron, if he has any decency, he's gonna say, no, if you fire Jack, you have to fire me.
Right.
And they both step down.
That's fine.
But give me the money.
And then you both go. And then
Ryan Kerrigan is defensive coordinator.
Yeah, for sure. Who cares? and then, because no one could be worse. And then just give Bieniemy his shot. Everybody says he's the guy.
Yeah.
I don't know that he's the guy.
I don't mind giving
But at least he has fire,
Give him an
Give him a
audition.
shot.
You know what? This is the Eric Bieniemy head coaching
Because
audition.
Ron's had his audition. Jack has had his audition. Give Bieniemy a shot.
Those guys have not had
And then I
auditions.
don't want to. And by the way, this gives us a great head start. So if Bieniemy sucks, get rid of his ass. But give him 13
Bieniemy's
games
would be
or
an
whatever.
audition.
Give him 12
Ron
games.
and Jack, they've been like cats run on Broadway.
They've had a career
freaking
full of
forever.
auditions.
Those guys.
Okay, their audition, they failed the audition. Okay, the American Idol, whatever. Simon Cowell boots them off. Get out of here.
That's a no for me, dog.
That's a no for me, dog. Okay, let's give Bieniemy a shot. Give him a 12-game audition.
Where's
Let's
the
go.
tea time tracker cakes?
Oh,
Because
tea time
you and I
tracker,
would
yeah.
have
Give
it
me
as
this
today.
afternoon.
October,
He can go play over there at
Now,
1757.
this is because
Welcome aboard, EB.
Ron would be,
the Fire Ron
Ron would
train.
be teeing it up at Pebble Beach because he's not going to slum it around here. He's going to go to his home course. This gives time for the firing and for him to fly
October 11th.
out to the West Coast and to get settled at his casa on the
He's got
West Coast.
5 days.
Yeah, October 11th is the tea time. The firing could come in 5 minutes. I mean, if you want to fire him when you wake up, fine with that. Fire Ron, fire
Someone
Jack.
first has to tell the owner that they lost, though.
Right.
'Cause I'm not sure he knows.
You know what is disappointing, or should be disappointing, is that it feels like a 2 steps forward, 3 steps backward type night, where everyone's speaking this new era into existence, and everyone had all of this hope that they're finally going to throttle some
Sellouts
team.
are done. They're done.
And
They're
that,
gone.
it's a party. We finally have moved on to this from this type of
Cool
embarrassment.
tailgating.
and-
That's how
gone.
quickly it ends.
And humiliation is behind us. But at the end of the day, all Josh Harris did was fix some leaky pipes in FedEx and just waiting for the season to be over.
You realize they lost to the Bears, all right? The Bears are horrible at 0-4.
They haven't lost
But
in
let's
a year.
specifically say they
Right,
lost
one
to
a year.
Matt Eberflus,
That's
who blew the game against the Broncos.
yeah.
We mentioned this quickly this week, but they were in a game that was tied with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left.
Yeah.
Had the ball on about the 20-yard line, which would be a 37-yard field goal. They decided, instead of going up by 3 against the Broncos, let's go for it on 4th down. And they
Idiot.
ran an awful play call, got stuffed, and then the Broncos, of course, went down, hit a field goal, and won the game. That's who they lost to Matt Eberflus.
By the way, we need to check the latest first head coach to be fired odds because heading into yesterday, it was Eberflus. Ron has to have replaced him after that performance.
Drab had a great
They have
line.
to have flip-flopped.
He says Josh Harris thinks it's still the Burgundy and Sold party.
Yeah.
When it's
The
when
games
we're
have started, bud.
He's still in
games
that
are
mode?
going.
Does he have young kids or his kids all grown? Are they all
I
grown?
Grown.
think they're like,
Are they
yeah,
all
they're
grown?
probably
I
like
think they're-
college age, maybe,
Okay.
maybe older.
All right.
All right, what pissed you off the most last night?
All right, let's go to Chris in Clinton. Chris, what's up? You're on with the Junks.
It got to be the first half defensive scheme because it was terrible. I'm going to tell you why. Because, listen, if you're playing Chicago, that 5-man defensive front had success a little bit. If you go back and look at a little bit of the tape, when number 91, they put him in a game. They were making penetration when they had the 5-man defensive line. When you're playing Chicago Bears, you should make Justin Fields beat you with the arm. And I'm not going to put too much on the defensive line. You know why? Because it's the scheme. Because Chase Young and Montez Sweat, they got to contain the outside. When they run in the read draws and when you got 2 defensive linemen and when you got your 2 guards blocking and getting to the second level of Cody Barton, they're making the game so easy for the team. So the defensive scheme was terrible in the first half. You should have had a 5-man defensive front, and you should have brought that safety in the box and forced them to pass the ball and put that safety over top of DJ Moore. Center field. Make them beat you with the arm.
Well, he
Make him
did.
one-dimensional.
He did. Thank
he did
you.
that last night.
He did beat him with the arm. To his
He
credit,
was-
and I watched, Justin Fields after the game. I'm impressed by the guy, just the way that he spoke. I know he got a lot of heat nationally a couple weeks ago when he called out his coaching. Kind of explained that last night, and I was buying in.
Now he's got 8 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks.
Right, and that was a guy that, like, a few weeks ago, they're like, is he the guy? We still have question marks about Justin Fields. Are we going to draft Caleb Williams if we have the number 1 pick?
Yeah.
Like, the last 2 weeks
Makes
if
you
you're a Bears
rethink
fan,
that
makes
a
you
little
think,
bit.
you know what, maybe he is our guy.
I mean, he's got the arm. He's athletic.
I mean, he started off horribly, but the last 2
And
weeks,
by the way,
8
is this
touchdowns.
just like, are the Bears just playing out of their minds all of a sudden because Chase Claypool's no longer in the building? Is that,
That
is
might
that
have something
part
to
of
do
it?
with
Was he that much of a distraction that in the last 2 weeks they've kind of, turned things around?
Let's go to Lenny, calling from Florida. Lenny, what's up?
Hey, guys.
Hey, Lenny.
What pisses me off the most is the coaching staff's lack of engagement.
Mm-hmm.
Rivera was asked at halftime what was said to his team at halftime. He said, I didn't say anything. I just let the team talk. Now, I don't know. Head coaches should be throwing tables, chairs.
I
something.
agree.
It was awful. It was awful. And on Del Rio's side, he's done the same thing every week and expects different results.
But just to be fair, they came out and won the third quarter 11-0. So whatever he said or didn't say at the half, if you believe that there's a correlation to what is said at the half or not said at the half, they won the third quarter 11-0.
They
And
came
that's
out
good,
fired
but
up, but if they had to. I mean,
But they were down
they're
24.
getting embarrassed.
I understand that.
I mean, they had to.
And they were down 24.
Yes, we talked about this earlier. They have lost in the first quarter 44-17. That's first quarter. And at the half, it's 87-44 so far this season in 5 games.
Let's go to Dan, Germantown. Dan, what's up?
Hey, so I just want to make an observation. I was a New Orleans fan from family when Jack was in New Orleans and hated him down there because he has no idea on how to do any type of blitzing when it comes down to third and long on passing situations. And to me, it's a simple concept. If you give a quarterback too much time to throw the ball down the field, a good quarterback's going to complete that pass. Good receivers are going to find a way to get open. At least if you're pressuring them and you're blitzing a linebacker or a D-back, then he has to get rid of it quicker. And then you have a better chance on stopping them on third and long.
All right.
And you saw that with Chicago. Chicago was sending the DBs
Yeah.
multiple times.
At
You know,
least
one
one.
time-
At least one had a sack on a blitz, a really well disguised blitz.
Yeah.
Sam just didn't see it. Didn't
All right.
see
Let's
it
go
coming.
to Carlos, Silver Spring. Carlos, what's up?
Well, good morning, fellas.
What's up?
I mean, it's not even really good morning, but this damn offensive line, man, these guys, they couldn't block Helen Keller trying to find her way home. They're just so bad. I know you guys were talking about they need to fire Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio, which I agree with both, but you need to fire the offensive line coach. Whoever he is, fire him. Go get Bill Callahan back from the Browns. Bring him back. Go get Bob Wiley, their old offensive coordinator, old offensive line coach, who was really, really great. The O-line just is terrible. It's terrible. They can't block anything.
I'm
That's all I got for you,
trying to
boys.
see who the actual offensive line
I don't
coach
even
Well,
know.
they
is.
made what they thought were
you could fire
upgrades in the
him.
offseason by
anything.
bringing in Andrew Wiley and bringing in Gates. And
Travell Wharton.
it may have been slight upgrades, but, I mean, how would you grade the offensive line through the first 5 weeks? A C-, a D?
Yeah.
I'd say
Like, they
about
may have been
that.
Probably.
upgraded over, the
Well, I
guys
mean,
like
after-
Norwell and Trey Turner, but
I mean, after the Buffalo game, I'd give him an F.
right.
But yeah, I mean, for the season, probably.
The defense is giving up 32 points a game.
Oh,
Go
no.
to-
It's a huge problem.
32 points a game.
Phil, what's up?
Phil in Arlington. Hey, bud.
Let's not remember.
All right, he's gone.
No. Did I? Oh, that may have been me. I'm not
Hello?
sure.
Yeah.
Are you there?
Matt,
This is Matt. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you guys.
go ahead, buddy.
Go ahead,
What's up,
bud.
Matt?
Good morning. No, the one thing that pissed me off the most is the fact that this is now back-to-back weeks where you got one guy as a receiver that you can't. It doesn't seem that they double, and I mean you know your guys are getting beat on double moves, so why don't you put a safety over the top? And I don't know football schemes to that extent, like why if they did it and it wasn't working or whatever, but it just doesn't seem like one guy caught every single pass, and you couldn't seem to do anything to scheme around it to take him out of the game. And then at the end, he gets that easy pass because, again, there's no safety over the top, knowing that guys are going to bite for double moves. So I'm just completely distraught by this team, and like It just never gets better. It never gets better.
Yeah, like at halftime, do you think the coaches had a discussion? Hey, this DJ Moore's he's a little bit of a problem. Maybe you want to scheme to give
That
the
part
DB
is
some help.
confusing.
I know.
You know that was talked about.
It had
I mean,
to
he
have
was
been.
killing him in the first
I would
half.
hope it was talked
Now,
about.
whether or not they did something schematically to prevent it, obviously they didn't, but they certainly had to have talked about it.
A.J. Brown one week, DJ Moore the next week. What pissed you off the most? 800-636-1067. More your calls here on a Misery Friday. Presented by Chiniga Mayos. Join the mission at careerswithmios.com. No, we talked about this yesterday, that if they won the game, you were looking at 3-2, and you were looking at the schedule. I think you tweeted something out this week, too. Like, you could potentially see them winning 5 out of 6 games.
Well, I thought the next 3 were very winnable.
No doubt. If you looked at the schedule, you thought it
I
was
don't think anything
favorable.
is now. Now I
If
have no
they
idea.
won the game, coming off the moral victory against the Eagles, you could buy into some momentum.
I was so encouraged by that performance on Sunday.
Now you're looking at, if you look at it big picture, a defense which is allowing 32 points a game, 4 straight games allowing 30 points or more. You're looking at 3 straight losses, 2 of them being bloodbaths. Okay, 2 of them
Gross.
at home, they got crushed.
And
One was against a terrible team.
One is more understandable than the other.
Right.
Like you can swallow the Bills' loss as, okay, that's a team that could be in the Super Bowl.
And, like, we kind of knew that the offensive line was going to have issues this year and Sam Howell was going to be up and down. But the expectations were the defense was going to lead the way. That if you looked at yardage last year, they were top 5. That they were adding Chase Young to the mix, and he's made a couple plays here and there. Had a batted ball. Did he finish with a sack? Might have been, some of the sacks that they got. I think they had 3 sacks yesterday.
He should have had one or
Chase
two
had
where he had
half,
guys in
Montez
grass.
had 1.5.
But he's had pressures, and But point is that defense, which was number 4 last year in yardage, added Chase Young, added a first-round pick in Emmanuel Forbes, and they are horrendous.
I'll tell you what, I'm glad we're not talking to Jonathan Allen after.
Oh, that would be a tough
We usually talk
tough
to him on
conversation.
Mondays.
I
But
saw a quote from Jonathan Allen, though, asked live. I think he said something, again, I don't have the exact quote in front of me, but it's something like, we suck. We got our asses kicked.
no, he was right.
Yeah, he's
So,
pretty
he's
blunt.
going to come on. He's always honest. He'll say, we got our asses kicked.
All right, let's get to a couple more calls before the top of the hour here. People are just really ticked.
Yeah.
Really, really
Well,
embarrassed.
also they're working on 4 or 5 hours of sleep too. They saw a horrible game. They saw a train wreck. They got 5 or 6 hours of sleep, and now they have to go to work.
No,
They're in a bad
We're
mood.
working on 5 or 6. They might have woken up at 7.
They might have.
And that'd be 7 hours.
Lucky bastards.
Let's go to
7 hours of sleep.
Isaiah in Manassas. Isaiah, what's up?
Guys, I am so upset today. I can't even put it into words, but I'm really upset at the NFL for once again destroying our season by putting a nationally televised game and having the Commanders on it. Every year.
Yeah, but they have
there's
to,
a game
and they gave them a layup. Home game against just a wounded Bears team coming in here.
Yeah, you realize, Isaiah, that you have to put every team on in prime time.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that, but Elizabeth, why you do that? This is macho, man.
All right, see you later.
Let's go to Eddie, Centerville. Eddie, what's up?
Hey, how you guys doing? Good morning.
What's up, Eddie?
Yeah, I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed. I was at the game last night and I saw Forbes getting beat. Now that's what I'm worried about, man. Forbes, a first-round pick, right? And he's playing like this, and Jack Del Rio's letting him play like that. Dude, I saw no passion on the sidelines. I saw nothing. I saw no heart. I saw nothing last night. And this is the team that I root for. Yeah, I'm disappointed, heartbroken, to be honest with you. But I need to know what Jack Del Rio is thinking with that defense. That whole Bears offense scored every time they had the ball in the first half.
I mean, I think he's thinking that the front 4 with the first-round draft picks, and Jonathan Allen kind of said this on our show, he thinks that the front 4 is going to be able to dominate because they're first-round picks.
I believe.
And Jonathan Allen came on this show and said, we're all first-round picks. We don't need extra rushers.
Yeah, I remember that. He's saying that on Monday. But what I'm saying is that it doesn't matter if you have the best D lineman in the world if your defensive backs are playing so off. the receiver, DJ Moore, was wide open, and for half the time he caught the ball. Like, it doesn't really matter if you have the best D lineman if your cornerbacks are playing like that, if your safeties are playing confused. You know what I mean? So that's on Jack Del Rio. I mean, I get it. It's Thursday. It's 2 days to prepare. I get that. I get that it's Thursday, but that can never happen again because you don't have another Thursday night game. So, yeah. Thanks for getting my call, guys.
I'm pretty sure the Bears had more scoring possessions in the first half than the Commanders had first downs, 5-4. Bears scored 5 times, and the Commanders had 4 first downs. That's how thoroughly they were dominated and outplayed in the first half.
Look, their possessions, their first 2 possessions were 3 and out.
Yep.
They also had an interception. So, I mean, they just didn't do anything offensively in the first half.
No. Zippy.
All right, let's go. Where is this? I thought I punched somebody out. Is it Dave?
Dave and Laurel.
Gentlemen, good morning. So I agree with everything that's been said about the defense, the problems with the front 4 and the secondary. But everyone's talked about that. So the next thing that is irritating me is on the offensive side of the ball, why isn't Terry McLaurin being targeted 10-plus times every game? Every other team finds ways to get the ball into their playmakers' hands. And he had, 1 target in the first half and I think 3 through the end of the third quarter. And I could say the same thing about Dotson. We're not getting the ball to our playmakers.
Yeah, I thought they had turned it around last week when those guys were targeted a combined 19 times. I was like, okay, we're going to build on this.
It was better last week, right? But right back to it.
Yeah, last night it was Logan and Curtis Samuel getting all the targets.
Yeah.
Maybe that has something to do with what Chicago did defensively. Maybe Sam wasn't seeing them when they were open. Who knows? We just have no idea.
Let's go to Josh in D.C. Josh, what's up, man? You're on with the Junkies.
Man, the thing is, I'm pissed at myself for buying in. It's just they keep letting you down. But what yesterday made me realize is we're the same girl. We just have a new dress on, we have some makeup on, and we have a wig on with ED and the new buy of the team and different stuff like that. But we're the same team.
Same old skins.
Same team on the field. So it's kind of frustrating. We have the pieces. We have like little pieces here and there, but we need to kind of wash this thing out. My expectation for the year hasn't changed. I said if we were going to go 500, we need to celebrate like we won the Super Bowl. It just kind of solidified that and maybe made me regress maybe a little bit, but I'm kind of pissed at myself for buying in.
Yeah, I might feel that way too, to be honest with you. I did not think – I know anybody could beat anybody, so it certainly wasn't out of the realm of possibility that the Bears would beat us, of course. Did not think we would get humiliated by that.
Man, I need to
see that. That wasn't on my bingo card.
I need to see the Circus Survivor numbers because I guarantee you a ton of people took the Commanders in that Circus Survivor pool.
I totally agree.
I think there's 2,000 plus left. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if
800?
a third or more of the field is eliminated.
Our friend Bikey Bots
Yeah.
has 8 entries still alive in the Circus Survivor, and 3 of them were dedicated for the Commanders.
Yeah, that hurts. That's not great.
So what did he do? Did he invest like $10K into that thing?
He has partners.
Yeah.
He's part of a consortium.
Crazy. All right, let's go to Shane in Tampa. Shane, what's up?
Good morning, Junks. I'm just pissed off at the world. And look, here's what I'm pissed off about. The talent evaluation. Yeah, they keep saying first-round picks, but hell, if they don't pan out, then they ain't worth a 7th-round pick. I'm tired of hearing about these first-round, overhyped defensive tackles for the damn Commanders. They've not produced. They're not doing nothing. Chase Young, I'm tired of hearing about Chase Young. This is an overhyped defense. That's what I'm pissed. We have draft choices that can't even get on the field this year. How many of our draft class have got on the field this year? That's what I'm talking about. We're missing on draft picks as well. Forbes, we needed offensive tackle. Look at the offensive tackle last night at Chicago out of Tennessee, right? I swore we should have got him and moved up in the draft pick. And look what he did get Sweat last night. He held his own. But, that's where we're at. This regime cannot evaluate talent, and it's been that way for 4 years. It's always on the defensive ball. We've not had a middle linebacker since Jack Del Rio's been here, and it shows on the field. And you know what? I can't wait for Josh to wake up this morning and clean house. You're fired. Get rid of the rest.
All right, thank you, buddy.
That's not going to happen.
It's probably not going to
Our
happen.
fans have more passion than our coaches do.
It sounds like it.
Moran just sits there dumbfounded with his arms crossed the
But
whole half.
you could tell when he was doing the sideline interview, like
So irritating.
He was having trouble. Like there was something about his voice where you could tell he was pissed.
I
Like,
know.
when
He showed
He
it.
was
I'm
pissed.
sure he did. I'm sure he let the players talk amongst themselves. It's a coaching technique that coaches do. You guys figure it out. Let them yell at each other. But whatever.
Very hands off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you had nothing to do with it. Let's go to Phil in Arlington. Phil, what's up?
Yeah, I get the double moves are going to get by guys, and cornerback's going to get caught flat-footed, and the scheme should cover that with over-the-top safeties, that kind of stuff. But what is unbelievably frustrating is when you see a 6-yard out pattern, and the dude is playing flag football and watching that guy go by and streak down the sidelines for 60 yards. Like Forbes has got a number of problems, but he doesn't put any hands on anybody, or much less a body. So there's actually no tackling down the field, which is like crazy. I mean, and then, when they cut to your follow-up shot is Ron standing there with his stone chin and his arms crossed. Like in hockey, when you get down 15-0 in the first period, somebody drops the gloves and punches somebody. There's got to be some passion somewhere.
Right. Kills me that I didn't see any passion.
Ron is the king of stoic on the sidelines.
Hey, you just wait till Ron starts blaming the sale of the team for not being able to get the personnel he wanted in here.
That's going to be
telling
his
you,
scapegoat.
That's going to be the excuse du jour. I wanted to bring in a great offensive line, but
Yeah,
the
says
team
that-
sale was up in limbo. We couldn't spend the money that we wanted.
That's going to ring super hollow if that's his excuse.
Well, get ready for it.
All right. Okay. We'll just take calls throughout. Whatever. I don't know what else to do.
Hey, it's a misery Friday.
It is.
Friday
This
should
is
not
as-
be miserable.
No,
This
it's
is as
fun.
miserable, I think. You have to remind me. I think this is as miserable as I've been during Ron's tenure. Like, I think this is the most
I
humiliating.
can definitely tell.
Huh?
I can definitely tell.
No. I think.
Well, give me another one. Remind me.
think
I'm sure I've
after
been
the
plenty of
Bears,
lows in my
after
life.
the Bears game and the Wentz collapse last year, that was a nadir for you last year.
At least that Bears win last year was
Because that eliminated from the playoffs, and we had to talk about.
You mean Browns?
Yeah, Browns
Yeah.
game. Sorry, that we had to talk about Wentz coming up puny in the biggest game of the year. We had to talk about Ron Rivera not even knowing they were eliminated from the playoffs, and we had to accept that they were eliminated from the playoffs. That was a low.
It's just my observation. It seems like Eric, the more he's talking it through, the angrier he's
Just getting really angry, yeah.
Like, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe because I actually think we do have a quarterback we can win with, and we still put out.
And you're kind of
that.
seeing his career slip away almost.
Who? Well,
Like
I
Sam,
don't know.
like if you can build something around him.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, he's
competent.
getting sabotaged by the defense. Like, look, Sam Howell's not perfect. He's got a lot of stuff to work through. He's still young.
Yeah.
He's got, what now, 6 NFL starts?
Yes.
But when your defense is allowing 30-plus every night out,
It's catch
you
up.
have no prayer of winning.
Like, to me, this was all about trying to find a quarterback, and I think we have found somebody that we can work with, and everything else is falling apart.
Right.
The stuff that you didn't expect to fall apart.
Everything else is falling
Yeah,
apart.
it's all flip flopped.
Yeah, and then, and he's not perfect. Believe me, I give him a B- C last
The
night,
last
too,
thing
but
you expected was the defense to give up 30 a pop for 4
not
weeks.
even giving the kid a chance.
Historically bad defense.
You had to drop it back 60 times.
And we were talking about how good the defense was. That they were part of the reason they won the Denver game
You
because they
realize
just
what a
completely
miracle
flip-flopped
it
that
is?
game.
What a miracle it is that kid dropped back Chippy
Yeah.
56 times, only threw 1 pick. How many first-year guys, basically, in 5 or 6 starts could drop back 56 times?
Yeah,
It's,
you're putting a lot on the kid's
He
plate.
did 0 handoffs.
Yeah.
On the flip
0 in
side,
the second half.
it could have been worse for the defense. We haven't talked about it. They got away with multiple pass interferences.
Well, St. Juice did in the, in the
Multiple
end zone.
pass
In the end zone
interference they
and
got
on the
away with.
sideline.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take more of your calls next at 800-636-1067. It is a Misery Friday presented by Chinika Miles. Join the mission at careerswithmios.com.